Call this meeting to order, the Griggs County Commission. Stand for pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll take roll. John. Here. Dale.
Here.
Mark.
Here.
Sean.
Here.
Troy's here. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda as presented?
I received Wes's monthly office report, if you would like to add that to the agenda.
It's from the first of the year, that's why it's so big. Okay.
Mark, there's a thin chair.
You're not gonna let them sit together?
No.
They get along better this way.
Yeah.
Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda as presented?
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Moved by Dale, seconded by Mark to approve the agenda as presented with the addition of the sheriff's office report year to date. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do you want to take a look at the meeting minutes from the 10th of May? I really didn't see anything earlier today.
Move to approve the May 10th meeting minutes. Dispense with the reading.
Second.
Been moved by Dale, seconded by Sean to approve the meeting minutes from the May 10th meeting and dispense with the reading. Is there a second, or, well, you seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Bills.
There was just one change from what was sent last night, and it's Cooperstown Hardware. Just got $30.45 added to it.
Okay. And that was what, highway or?
For Brian.
Oh, just
Yeah.
for janitorial?
Yep.
General courthouse.
I assume the Ball Hill Fire and Ball Hill Road to cancel each other out was just a mistake and they're fixing it. Page 5, 1,033.09 in the negative and 1,033.09 in the positive.
Yep, right.
So why weren't they out of the same account? One's Ball Hill Fire and one's Ball Hill Road.
It accidentally got taken out of road in our
General ledger.
general, like our asset liability report. It was flipped, and so then one was negative and then one had that balance, so then we just had to get it switched around. It just got taken out of the wrong account at one point.
Move to approve the bills as presented with the addition of the $30.40 to Cooper Hardware.
Second.
Been moved by Sean to approve the bills as presented with the addition of $30.45 to Cooperstown Hardware. Seconded by Mark. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carried. Wayne? You want to go over the evidence of the
bid that was
Sure.
opened up this morning or this afternoon?
Yep, I guess at 1:30 today, we had a bid opening for graveling on the Hannaford Road. Includes 4 inches of graveling from the pavement just west of Hannaford all the way over to County 3. We received 2 bids, one from Park Construction and one from, or I can give the amounts here quick if you like. Maybe not as quick. But $614,364.25, and then the apparent low bid is Tom Gilbertson and Sons at $404,497, and then in the meantime, I have checked the math on both the bids, reviewed those submittals, and I would recommend award to Tom Gilbertson and Sons for the $404,497.
I move that we tentatively award the contract for the road graveling and construction to Tom Gilbertson and Sons in the amount of $404,497 pending contract approval, or engineering approval, or is it approved?
As far as we're concerned, it's good. The only
Okay.
thing, you don't want to wait until you get your performance and payment bonds and sign
Absolutely.
contract
Yep.
and evidence of insurance.
Okay, pending approval.
Been moved by John to tentatively approve or award the graveling bid to Tom Gilbertson and Sons for $404,497. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mark. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carried.
Do you want to talk about
Yeah.
remaining funds? Okay, so with currently Griggs County has a balance of $119,295.97 in Senate Bill 2103 funds and $423,239.04 in House Bill 1176 funds. Both of those allow you to allow 100% project expenses to be reimbursed. So your total is $542,535.01. It's still at the state. The design for the Hannaford Road project has not been requested for reimbursement yet. That's $17,500. That's already been paid to KLJ, so we need to request a reimbursement from the state. I'll bring that to the next meeting, that letter. Final estimate to Riley Brothers Construction on the box culvert, 5 miles east and a mile north of Cooperstown here, will be $986.48, give or take a penny or two. So, as of a week ago or so, the Riley Brothers hadn't signed their final estimate yet, so we couldn't get that done yet. 'Cause that's been billed.
$9,840.
No, $986.48.
Okay.
Their final estimate is what, around 5,000, so this is the 19% local share.
Okay.
That'll come out of that same funding plot. So then that leaves you 524,048.53. Assuming this bid, this is a unit price contract on the Hannaford Road, so it won't come out to the penny, but if it did, it would be 404,497 off of that. Construction engineering is gonna be around 10% ballpark, I would estimate. So you'll have about $79,000 remaining. That has to be requested for reimbursement before the end of June. One way to do that would be to do a change order after, assuming the contract gets signed with Tom Gilbertson and Sons. You can do that at the next meeting after he gets his bonds and everything in. You could do a change order for some additional gravel, and that was Brian Fuchs's suggestion. As far as how to use the rest of the money, that would get you almost another inch of gravel from 4 to 5 inches on the whole thing. He didn't think it was feasible to look at another project site. I gave you a map in front of you there that shows all the work that's been done with these 3 funding sources. House Bill 1358, Senate Bill 2103, and House Bill 1176. So basically you've touched most of the gravel roads, or a good portion of them in the county, and 1 paved road. But as far as being able to get a set of plans or scope together for that $80,000, get a bid, and get it under contract by the end of June would be really tough, and get it and then reimbursement requested. So that would be the most practical way to use the rest of that money would be to put some more gravel on this road.
So does the change order have to fall within the footprint of the existing project?
Right, there were even, last time the Hannaford Road was done east of Hannaford, it was a separate project that was tied. So it was a separate deal.
So in other words, you can't extend any mileage onto that existing project, it has to fall within
If
the
it was,
footprint.
yeah, that'd be the easiest, I guess. You could do a separate project. Since there's a break in the middle that's paved,
Mm-hmm.
it's really a separate site.
Didn't
We
you
can
ask
talk-
about continuing on 3 or something?
Yeah, I did, and that would be a separate project for sure. So it's a separate
That
CMC
was a
route.
separate-
Yeah, and that made the most sense to me, just to connect it north up to the pavement, but that didn't sound like it was feasible.
So are there any other culverts or dirt work that needs to be done to improve it, that could involve a change order? We may as well make the improvements to the project now before we gravel it, because once we gravel it, we're gonna upset the whole.
You're planning on,
that?
the culvert on the end is gonna be put in
Right.
before anything's done anyway, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be nice if you could add it into the
Just
project,
into the scope.
improve it.
I'll check on that, I don't,
We put in a bigger culvert than what's presently there. Because it's-
But I mean,
We'd
how
have
about,
to have
how
that
about
culvert.
existing culverts that are nearing the
well,
end of their life expectancy, can we?
Do those culverts where the real wet spot is, do they sit water? Or are they new,
has,
The one to the west,
just west of Hannaford?
just right west of the elevator? or
Well, where
way
the
west?
combine went in to drink there?
There's a culvert there somewhere, we don't know exactly where it is. The water is definitely higher on one side than on the other. And we're
Shouldn't
gonna
we fix that?
try to fix that too, yeah.
Can that be part of this project?
normally you'd have to run a hydraulic analysis if you're changing the pipes. If you're extending them, it's not as big a deal, but you'd have to make sure they're sized appropriately, and I don't know if we have time to do that necessarily. It's possible.
So we can't replace with the existing size?
Yeah, I think you can do that.
Yeah.
On a federal aid project, you would have to address the environmental impacts and stuff. I don't know if they're watching these that as close as that, but
We had to on the Sutton
Can
Road.
ask them, I suppose.
Remember, on the Sutton Road, we had to. When we
Yeah.
replaced the
Yeah.
culvert, they made us go so that it was sized according to the watershed.
right. So you'd have, the two issues would be whether hydraulics would be required. And
Let's see if we can't get that added to the project.
Cause that isn't really a watershed culvert, that's more
Equalization.
equalization between the north side of
Yeah,
the
the
road and the
one,
south side.
the east one, somebody, Matt talked to the Larson boy that lives right there.
Patrick,
Yeah, and he said there's no outlet unless it really gets high, so it'll run.
well, that's kinda what it looks like there, but.
It's just a basin, you know, so just an equalizer. Would be nice to be able to add that in there and then, you know, put the fabric in at the same time to.
Sure.
To get it. Cause we will be doing some dig outs, so there's some
Right.
dig outs in the
But you,
design.
you don't put fabric and rock down and then come back later and dig it up. You put a pipe in there when you need the pipe anyway, that doesn't make any sense.
yeah. I guess just timeline wise, if your next meeting is the June 7th, right?
Next meeting can be tomorrow.
Well,
That's it. It does have to be based on our meeting schedule.
okay. Well then, I guess it depends on whether the contractor can get prices together that quickly, would be one thing too.
He's asking if the contractor can get prices together to replace a culvert in the Hannaford Road quick. Monday, we're in no hurry.
Well, I mean, we have to scope the project first, we gotta tell them what we want.
Didn't sound like that'd be an issue,
Do you want me to,
getting a time.
I guess would I be allowed to work with the contractor to get that scope figured out, or?
Yep. Yeah, so,
Okay, I'll find out for sure if we can do it with the funding
Unless it's
source.
something really special, then it takes a little time to figure out.
It's just an equalization culvert.
And it's nothing special.
I wouldn't think so.
So you'll keep it within the price constraints here of the
There's still
79
quite a bit left, I
Yeah.
think.
Well, and you can definitely use the rest for whatever's left, you can
Gravel.
spread with gravel.
right.
I don't know that it's gonna work out to the penny. I
No,
mean,
that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a $5,000 left and everything's done, is that an issue, or
No.
would you rather spend all of it and spend $2,000 extra?
Well, the gravel gets sold by the ton, so you get pretty close.
Yeah, I know, you can, you just, yeah.
But it seems it would be more prudent to spend the money on long-term infrastructure than gravel, which is replaced, on a pretty regular basis.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you have another 4 inches on that road, or 5, it should be another, it should get, if you lose 3/4 of an inch a year or whatever, it should get you another year or two.
Culvert underneath would be a lot longer,
Yeah.
a lot longer than gravel.
Right. That was already in your plans to do though, right?
Yeah, we didn't do it, but
There's some more culverts.
as long as we can get it paid by this way versus other budget.
Well, and the county can self-perform that work and get paid for it too.
I'd probably be hiring a contractor.
Okay.
I think we can do the one, I think, but
And maybe you should go drive the road and see if there's any other culverts that need to be changed out.
No.
So do them all, we're doing one of them.
Well, and then the soft spots are really, I mean, I drove it after the last meeting, and, I mean, I was really looking to try and find like 7 soft spots, and the total was still only about 1,000 foot, but I think
Maybe
with the frost coming out now, it's probably in worse shape, so that we, that we're taking into account too.
Okay, are we done with that?
We're not gonna gravel up here anyway.
Think so? I think so.
Okay.
Farms come-
JJ Striping was asked to get a quote,
Is that for the whole 7 miles?
yeah, 8 miles,
8 miles?
County Road 8 from JJ Striping to put the center lines, yellow center lines and white edge lines from Highway 1 to the Washington County line.
Those guys are customers of mine, I probably shouldn't be involved with the discussion.
Giving you a kickback? They are, it's okay, get involved.
So the quote was $9,900.80 painted. They said they could do it quicker. I had talked to they're the ones that are going to do Foster County's striping too after they do the chip seal, and they're waiting for the temperatures to get correct so they can do that chip. But if you wanted painted quicker, they could do that.
Yeah, so this is a request of Binford, for a safety
Yes,
issue because
Chris
of the
from
road, yeah.
Bedford and School.
Right.
And,
But I drove it after that, and it's gone for all the way to the county lines, so we might as well do it right.
So I'll just let them know that we'll accept that vote, and if there's anything you want to have to sign.
Ken, what's your take on it?
I think as long as it's done before winter.
There's a lot of cracking right down the center lines too, and we'd like to get that sealed up before we, you
Makes sense.
paint it and then you come and you seal the cracks. And so I said, at least we're gonna do the center lines, we get that.
So if we decide to do it, you're gonna coordinate with them so that we get our work done first?
Yeah, you'll do it, at the same time or as Washington County. I thought maybe it would be cheaper, maybe just to tie it in with their project. Make a motion on that probably or something to do that.
I'll make a motion to accept the bid, paint the lines on, west of Binford,
Can you read?
County Road 8.
From Highway 1 over.
Highway 1, yeah. West 8 point, whatever, 3 miles or something.
From Highway 1 then, instead of from west of
West
Binford.
of-
Okay.
Been moved by Mark to accept the bid from J&J Striping to repaint the pavement from Highway 1 going west through Benford all the way to the county line. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Sean votes aye. I'm gonna abstain. Carries. Anything else, Wayne? Got a professional services agreement, you need that approved?
Yes.
Yep, and that's just for the inspection on Decker Bridge.
What is the inspection on that concrete bridge?
And that's just for us to do the inspection and the report back to DOT.
Estimate is $1,500.
Yep, and that's a cost plus to max, so it would just be hourly, whatever it takes them to get down here and do that.
Okay.
So that's the max that it would be.
I'll move we approve the professional service agreement with KLJ for the bridge inspection.
Been moved by Sean to approve the professional service agreement with KLJ to inspect the bridge 10 miles north of town. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
I think that's all I have. And then
Should we skip ahead to County Road 21?
21.
Yeah, Holtag's not here anyway, so. So we got a problem on County Road 21, I guess everybody knows that.
Is a big problem. It's greasy, it's slippery. Every time it gets the moisture, it's almost dangerous. It is. Normally, you know, after it gets the moisture on it, it sets back up, and it's been good. Then the next time we get moisture. Slow rains are, of course, the worst on any road, whatever it is, whether it's your driveway or whatever, your yard, but it shouldn't be this bad. So we need to do something trusted by taxpayers and to try to do something, and so we are gonna try to do something. We don't know the perfect answer. We have talked to the gravel producer to see if he had any suggestions, and engineer from KLJ. I think we're probably going to try to add a different mixture of gravel to it, and see if that helps reduce that plasticky stuff in there. And don't know.
So when was this road gravelled last?
Last August.
This was gravel last fall.
And if you remember, last fall when it rained, it got really sloppy. And when we talked about it in the meeting, that gravel kind of does that, out of that pile, it'll get really gooey. And then once it sets up the second time, it will stand up. But they didn't do it this time. There's something going on there that spot in that pile is different than the rest of it was, or something. I don't know what's going on. I'm not an expert, but I know that it's bad. So, between Tom and Wayne, I think we need to figure out something to fix it. Go ahead, Tom.
Question, I don't know who I just talked to, but they mentioned that it'd maybe be a good idea, and I don't know which gentleman it was here, that like if you experimented with a couple miles of it instead of the whole thing at one time, Wayne?
Right.
I think that would be the way to do this, to try to find out what the right solution is. Not the whole 9 miles. Take a couple miles and see if you can figure out what you need to put on it.
What would you start with? I guess,
Oh, that'd be, I think Wayne and I
Well,
could,
we put like between 500 to 600 cubic yards is how we go by per mile. Each truck holds so much, and we have a certain distance, we spread it out, and that's how we calculate it. And then I total it up at the end of the mile. So we'd probably almost have to put just about the same again, up some different material. I don't know if we have to do, maybe if we did 300 yards to the mile.
could we get a test done? Go out, take samples of it, and see what the suggestion would be to make it fit. It's no big deal, most of it is the exact same way.
Yeah.
So would that be a good solution? You don't want to do it in stages and find out what it takes to make it right so it's done.
I know nothing about gravel, but it seems to common sense that before we start throwing a product at this to try to fix it, we better determine what we have.
That's what
So
we should test it.
we know that it takes class 5 or class 13 gravel in order to have a decent road bed. So let's sample what we have, see what that involves, and then add to it what we need to build class 13 gravel. And then we know for sure that what we have there meets the spec of whatever we decide to put on there. Otherwise, I don't like the word experiment, because as it turns out.
Maybe isn't the right word, but if you take the tests that were just done on it right now, we did a bunch of testing on it.
And it meets spec.
And it meets a spec, but the problem is that 13 is such a wide spec. And we have to get it, instead of the top end of a 13 spec, you want it down at the bottom, and that's, I think, what would make it work.
some aggregate.
Wayne?
Yep.
Okay.
Agree.
So then we need to test what's there.
They tested what's on the road and what's in
We
the
have
pile.
tested it, but I think Wayne and I should get in a vehicle, we should go out and we'll take a couple spots and a couple different miles. You take and have Paul, you do the testing on it, or not, or just Wayne, what do you say?
We have them guys.
Or
Whoever, I mean,
whoever do the testing,
Right.
and we'll find out what you would need to get that to drop it to the bottom of a 13 or the top end of a 5.
Right.
And the people that I visited with today so far from down there, I think they are gonna want something on the more 5 range is what it used to be.
Is there a compaction test or something like that you can do on this gravel to see? So that we're not doing what John is saying, experimenting, so that when we get this gravel and we send it to you and it says that it's at this spec, what do we have to do to this to get it so that it'll have more compactability, or?
I guess I'm sorry, just kind of walked in the middle of it.
Mark, they're not working for the county.
He's not working for the county, so all these gravels have a different spec, and it's built, is there 9 different
There's
ingredients?
piles of different
We should be able to
specs.
take what we have, know where we're gonna go, and add what we need to get there.
Right.
That it should be that simple, but that solves the first part of it. The second part of it is, why did some of the other projects not have this problem out of that same pile? And what's left in the pile we have? Is it usable, or do we put it on a road and have the same thing happen again?
It's spec
So
good.
that's not,
I assume you people aren't here to praise us, you're here because we have a problem. And so we have to fix the problem first, and then going forward from there, we have to make sure it doesn't happen again to anybody else.
So what do we got, 35,000 tons of this stuff left?
I don't know
think we have
what's
that
left.
much, I don't think.
Oh, I don't
Mr. Chairman,
remember.
we're talking about the stuff, I got it right here, and I wanna show it to you, if I may.
We made 34,060.
We believe you.
I just wanna show you the material, because this is from 2 days ago.
Looks
Here's the
exactly
stuff.
like what I took off the top
Yeah.
of the road and
Yeah.
dried.
This stuff,
Yeah, I looked at that.
I, just for fun, I'm not trying to mudsling literally, but I threw it against the barn wall, it stuck. Okay, so this is like wet cement. And this was the last rain, and I put it in there, and I dumped it out yesterday, and pardon my mess, but I could put it up, but it's just formed. And feel how heavy that is. I mean, that's dent, that stuff packs. But it's not gravel. And that's why we're all here today, because every time we drive to town, we have to try to wash the stuff off our vehicles. If you wait too long, it sticks like cement. And a pressure washer hardly cuts it. And it's that thick under your wheel wells. And for those of you guys who live there, I would like you to drive home tonight on our road and see what it's like. And then you can read the letter you got from the Bible camp that talked about moms with kids going to camp. Monday, they've got people coming down for training. The food service trucks are going there. They've had to deliver it in town or on top of the hill because they can't get down there.
There's lots of roads going down there, Nathan.
Huh?
There's a lot of roads going down there. They could take a different one.
They can, but that's the one they go on because then they've got hills and they've got a turn and they don't want to go down Suicide Hill. They don't want to go down the other because that's, I talked to the people.
Nevertheless, that's an argument to
yeah.
prove we have a
We're not
problem.
gonna
We
change that
admit we
today.
have a
We're gonna
problem.
fix it.
Yep, I know,
We
and
have a
I'm
problem.
just
We're gonna fix the
demonstrating it for you,
problem.
but I'm saying that when you.
It's just how to fix
Those
it.
fines are in,
Number one, I'd say right now, get that stuff off the road.
we're not taking that gravel off the road.
Well, don't then, but then accept the consequences.
But those fines are in every gravel pile in this county, Nathan. There's no way to get around it. I have the same stuff sticking to my pickup and I drive it to Macville every day to work. We have what we have in this county.
But they're not here
Go for the good
meeting
gravel.
saying we got a
Go
problem.
get the good gravel. It's out there someplace. Pay
Oh, yeah?
whatever it takes.
Where's it at, Cal?
I don't know. That's for you guys to do. You are responsible for making these roads passable.
Yeah,
You guys
we're
are the
gonna
county
make-
commissioners. Get it done.
We're gonna make it passable.
Yes, please do that. It's
Yeah.
a mess.
We know that.
So when we determine what we have to put on there, Tom, then is the process then to windrow the existing gravel over so that we can lay another swath alongside it so that we can then blend it across the road evenly with the mix? Because putting it on top doesn't seem to make much sense.
They have to be blended.
Right,
It
so you
has
put
to
2 windrows next to each
completely
other.
change what there is now,
Yeah,
completely,
right. And the only way to do that is to get 2 windrows next to each other and then,
and blend them.
You're
okay.
gonna have to relay it, basically.
Yeah, it would have to be, and there is a process. I've been doing this quite a while now, and we are so far from perfect in what we do, it's unbelievable. Because we have to work with what we have. And everything has to do with cost. But if we can take and mix things into this, I think do you think there's a chance it can be saved, Wayne, or not?
Well, I think it can be.
And the silt question, we did some experimenting. John doesn't like the word experiment.
Well, I mean, that's fine.
We did a science
Yeah.
test, my daughter did.
Yeah.
And what we come up with, for some reason, we are coming up with a completely different 200 and 200 minus, which is what's causing all your problem. That is the culprit out there. And we are coming up with that off the samples off the road. We are not coming up with them out of the samples out of the pile. And I don't know if there's something in it that broke down differently or whatever. No one will more than likely ever know. The biggest thing to do is this fell into the closest spec that could be made for what's wanted now.
Right,
And we're just gonna have to find something and fix it.
right. Need more big stuff and less little stuff as a percentage, right?
Oh, Mark and I were talking a little bit ago, and that's even with this project now.
Right,
With our bid on this project,
yeah,
we added 132 loads, and you take that times 25 ton, that is going to be blended into this other material for this project to
Oh,
try to
3/4
get
material.
away from this upper 13 part that
right,
we're working with.
right.
And I think we can do it. And we're gonna have to do the same thing with that road, Wayne.
I have a question. Would it be better to add cleaner material? We've already got all kinds of fines.
Right.
Well, we need to see what we need to.
You know, could you crush some cleaner stuff, different sizes, and add that in, mix that in? Blend it in?
But you don't wanna put 600 yards of that on the mile.
No, not 600.
Well, like 600, or a ton of 3/8 to 3/4 inch crushed rock right now
Yeah,
is running $22 a ton.
right,
You aren't gonna wanna take and stick something like that into this. You're gonna have to find something that, get the specs done and the testing done and see what it takes to make it work.
There you go, let's see what
That's all
it
we
takes to
can
make
do.
it work and then make the decision, and I understand the frustration here, we're just as frustrated as anybody else.
I am
But
too.
this wasn't an intentional, let's buy some material that is different than what we bought before. This is a spec material we always buy. And out of that pile has many other applications where it worked correctly. So there's no fault here other than not knowing what the fault is. And that's what we're trying to correct right now. Is to try to fix what happened and make sure it doesn't happen again. And I sympathize with your frustration, but it certainly wasn't us trying to cut costs or do anything differently than we've done. It just showed up here, and now we got to try to make the best out of it.
John, I like your scientific approach to it. I like what you said earlier about that there's specs, we need to stick to that. That's the right approach, in my opinion. I agree with you on that. And I'm no gravel expert either, but I can see good gravel when the township roads right now have got far better gravel than the county because they're accessing better quality gravel. I took a picture of Sverdrup Township and then the County Road 21. I sent it to, I don't know if you all got it, but in an email, just the study and contrast between Sverdrup Township Road and the county road. And it's a difference in the quality of the gravel. And that it as a layperson, it doesn't seem like it should be rocket science to figure out what good quality gravel is that meets proper specs versus the slime that we got and have had off and on through the years. It's been really bad stuff.
And I think
I
the
don't know.
Retzloff pit is this, that's the bad place.
The stuff, the
That's
Retzloff stuff.
understand where it's coming from, and no matter how you mix it,
And it's not just County Road 21. County Road past the Saturn Church is terrible. The Hannaford Road has been bad off and on through the years. This has been going on for some time now. And I understand that good quality gravel is expensive. It's getting harder to find accesses, but it is out there. So I don't know. That's for you guys to find out. And
Tom
access
put
it.
up that gravel that you guys put in Sverdrup too, down in Barnes County, but he had to build that too. You don't just mine gravel.
That
You
was
make,
built.
you make gravel.
Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever it takes. Okay, whatever it takes.
So
But-
Kevin,
but-
the gravel in the Retzloff pit, they made that gravel too. So they mix different materials to come up with a class 13.
But it's awful.
I
And
understand
that should have been determined before it got put on.
It met the spec in the pile, Kevin.
Yeah.
This
And
is one-
that pile has been used all over the place down there. From the 3 mile corner south of Hannaford, or south of Highway 200, all the way over past
So
St.
like what
Mary's.
John is saying, you weren't trying to cut costs or
It's
or
came
cut
out of the
corners.
same pile
You
that
just-
we-
You just didn't,
It
it wasn't negligence on your part, but it was
No.
just like, this, we got a problem, we gotta try to fix it
What
now.
it feels like to me is we hit a bad place in that pile, because it isn't, it's hard to put up a homogeneous pile when you're adding this, that, and trying to get it to that spec. And Gilbertsons do a good job, but who knows what the wind was blowing out of the wrong direction that day, or I don't know what happened. But it seems to me like.
It seems more chronic than that.
The class 15 is 13, I mean, it's a wide range of acceptance.
But you realize that this isn't just County Road 21 that's bad. There's a number of bad county roads out there. Every time you get
What
a
other
quarter inch
one?
of rain, and you can hardly drive it.
We drove yesterday.
I mean, I don't
West
know.
east of Hannaford. Everything we gravelled last year, pretty much.
You can't drive on it?
It's really slimy.
Really?
It is really
I mean, the
slimy.
Maxwell Road's getting slimy today now, but it's because of this slow rain forever and too much
But you
traffic.
can tell the difference
Yeah.
just in the color of the gravel on a township road versus the one that passed your mailbox there. That's into Washburn. Past,
It's got an orange color to it.
it's got a, the
No, I
color is
I know
different.
the
The
color's
quality of the
different.
gravel is different.
Color isn't
Color
quality.
doesn't make
No,
it
I know,
more.
but I can see there's a difference.
It's a
in the-
mineral.
There's whatever it is. There's a difference.
The biggest difference that I see between the two of them, Kevin, is the amount of rock in it.
How
Because
about
rock
clay?
is-
How about clay?
Rock carries the load.
Maybe once Nathan wants to demonstrate your,
Well, I got
pull out your stuff again. I think
This
that's
is
a really
from,
good example.
This was from, this is from the township road, see? And there's a lot of rock in there, like you said. But this other stuff,
One other thing,
this doesn't have, there's just, you can see it. Look at the color, you see a difference in color, that's gray, and you see hardly any rocks. You see a lot of rocks there, that's just clay. And there's obviously a different recipe here. And it's for Tom, the gravel cook,
well,
to cook up a good recipe, and I use the word try it for a mile. You see test plots on highways, try it and see. When I say try, you say you don't want to take that stuff off of there. Try it, experiment, take off a little bit. It's not going to break the bank. Take off a quarter mile or something and see, because I think everything needs to be on the table here. It's not. We're all on the same team here. We want good roads.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Well,
let's be
um,
all on the same page and let's find a good solution. And we're not going to get mad at each other, but just say
no
for the
man.
safety
We're
of
not
people
mad, we're
driving.
frustrated.
Yeah.
But,
We're
but
just frustrated.
there might not be a need to take that off. That product in there might just need something added to it to produce a product that is usable. So before we start doing that, let's find out what we have, find out what we can have on hand to make it a product that's usable. That's the most cost
Yeah, I
effective
mean that
way
would
to do
be the
this.
best if that can
I
happen.
think that
Don't make it worse, make it
when this stuff is mixed up, I think that, and you're gonna maybe disagree with this one, but I think there should be a packer there and a water truck.
Probably.
In this, what does it request in the projects that are being done now? Packer, water truck, right?
Yeah.
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 Especially for this type material.
That's right. That's
That's what you did on the map.
you did it west of Hannaford, and you got the same stuff. Ken says the same stuff, different results. So either it's the maintaining, maybe you're pulling in dirt, but do the same thing if you can do it.
Yeah, but they pulled that dirt in the spring and they didn't gravel it till August. That should have been that should have been packed onto the road, but you gotta retrieve those edges once in a while.
And it was one miserable time right now.
Oh, it
These
is.
slow
I
rains.
mean, all these roads.
Last fall, never gave it a chance to set.
After they retrieved the
It's just a bug,
So-
right?
The weather hasn't been kind.
It hasn't been kind to any of us.
So guys, would you give us the latitude to try to test this, figure out what's wrong, come to a solution, and then if it doesn't work, come and yell at us? Because then we did something wrong. And maybe it's not gonna be as if it was paved. I mean, a gravel road is a gravel road.
Oh, I know that.
But this one, I'm not arguing there's something wrong here.
Have you driven it?
I have, yeah. I
I
drove
mean,
it last year, I drove it again. Yeah, no, I'm not arguing that there's something wrong. But
That's been.
give us a chance, that's a given. But now let's try to fix it
Yep.
at the most economical price point to a product that is usable again like you used to have.
I just want to make one more comment, and that is, in the meantime, until we get it figured out, what would you recommend for the safety of the traffic that's going there? Because we have, the Viola camp is the unknown, the people that come, they're driving on pavement. should the road be closed, should there be a detour, should there be something, so that, because that's kind of Wayne's department.
That's
More
right,
public
yeah,
safety.
that's,
I don't know the answer
That's
to
a
that.
concern.
I don't know the answer to
We
that.
can't close it because you guys live down there.
Well, we can go other routes, we don't like it, but I'm talking about,
I thought half the
safety
traffic
reasons.
went by my mailbox already.
No,
To the
I've
Bible
been
camp.
driving
The
past
main-
your mailbox to get to the farm. 'cause
and
it's-
that road is getting
Yeah.
more
That's
traffic
getting worse
because
now.
of,
Well, I figured that, yeah. Well, I mean, got no choice.
Troy?
Isn't that a standard?
I don't know if this, and this you'd ask Wayne too, would it be possible? It's only about this much on top of that road that is crud.
Oh, really?
Well, from what I did with the spade when I was out there, the 2 different trips now, and taking samples, would it be possible, could a guy put that off to the side in a windrow? Cause the other stuff underneath is good. There's this top
Don't
layer
ask me, I
of,
don't run a blade. You know the
I
answer to it, how
suggested
come you're
that.
asking me the question?
I suggested we could windrow it over to the side
Oh,
and
yeah.
leave it, and then we'd have to, wherever there's a low spot, cut a hole so the water
Yep.
run off the road, you know.
then you'll have something.
At least you'd be back to the hard surface that's underneath there,
We can try it.
and
Try some.
we can work on a solution.
yeah, you're not getting rid of it then, you're pushing, and then
It's
you
just
got a
gonna
little,
be there in
you can
case
see
we-
what happens and get,
Yep.
see what happens during a rain, see what happens when it's dry.
And then as far as the safety issue, same thing you do if you have a road under construction, you use signage
Yep.
in order to
And I
warn,
hit something.
you flag it, and speed, and put a speed limit on
That'd
it.
be good.
As hard as a rock
And
underneath.
I think that's all doable, and
See, there isn't that.
you know, it wasn't like we didn't know about this, we know about it, we've been, of course, people inform us about it, and it just came to,
Outreach group.
it's gotta be fixed.
Right.
Tom, you guys have testers right at your shop too, right? I guess I don't know what adding our services to that would help. I mean, if you know, you guys have been making gravel for a long time, you know
Okay,
what range of the spec you want to have it in.
what we do, Paul,
Yep.
is Marcy runs all our own tests.
Mm-hmm.
We normally have 2 bags. We split them, and half of them we take to Terracon, and because we're not a certified tester.
Oh, okay.
And she takes and sorts this stuff out, splits it, and that way it kind of gives us a little bit of a reassurance. She wants to be reassured, it's quite a responsibility testing this stuff.
Right.
And she wants to make sure that she is close to the guidelines they are. And her testing, well, you guys have seen some of it before, compared to Terracon, they come out extremely close. So,
Okay.
what I'm gonna do, and this is up to you guys too, I am gonna take someone with me. I think it should be actually, no,
Not today.
why not?
I
We
got a
get
wedding to
good
go to.
stuff today.
So,
3:30, I gotta go.
yeah,
We should get together,
Yes, get together.
and we'll get a couple young guys with us to run the shovels and carry the bags, and we will take 4 spots in those 8-9 miles,
Yep, I would accept.
all the way across.
I would accept your testing, I mean, whatever you test, and then if we can figure out a.
I'm not gonna accept our testing. I am gonna have
Why
her
not?
test it and have it take, and I will take and pay for the test at Terracon. I won't ask for a reimbursement. But if this is fair, we will do it.
Yeah, you don't have to pay for the testing, I don't think.
Well, I would really like to. Well, no, yes, I would.
so between the county and the contractors supplied the gravel, you guys are gonna work it out then? And
As long as we don't start wrestling.
And, well, and then with the assumption that hopefully it doesn't have to come back here and we have to rehash this again?
Well, there hasn't been anyone upset in here, has there?
I bet there will be, if we don't fix it.
What kind of timeframe are you looking at? I mean, with what you got going on, I mean, I'm hearing you got the thing west of Hannaford, but that's not life-threatening, potentially like,
Well, that's,
so what
you
kind
know-
of time frame would you be looking at? A month?
You know, that project will be done by a contractor.
Yeah.
This will be done by us.
Okay, so could you put this up to the top of your list if it's
It'll
possible?
be the top of the list.
Good.
And we will work with the county to try to get this figured out.
It's to your advantage also.
Oh, hey,
Absolutely.
why do you think I'm here?
Absolutely.
To,
You wanna figure it out also?
yeah,
Okay.
but we will take, I don't know what day, I think we should do it yet today, Wayne.
Okay, I'll see you at 10 o'clock tonight.
Paul will go with me.
Paul can go with you.
No, but I want someone from the county with when we pull the samples.
Yeah.
I don't care, it can be one of your guys or you, Wayne, whatever. And I don't have to be there, it could be one of the boys or whoever. This is just something to get ironed out, make people happy.
Right.
Even Scott. That's pretty tough.
Well, and your plan was to scrape up some of it into a windrow and then sample out of that, right?
I wasn't going to, you could do that, but then you might bring up some of the other stuff.
I would rather take it right with a spade right across the road. Myself.
Yep, that's
If
what
we
we did.
take
Mark
that
and
windrow-
I did that. Mark and I did that the other day too.
That's what they recommend doing when we went to that gravel meeting. They said to
That's what we
take
do.
it off the top. That's where your problem is.
And,
Okay.
okay, Paul?
I was just curious,
No, that's fine. We're good?
just clarifying that.
Good.
I'll call you Tuesday, Wayne.
All right, thanks.
Thank you
Hey,
much.
Jack. Mama's calling, you know you gotta run when mama calls.
See you,
Thank
Wayne.
you guys, thanks.
Later, Wayne.
You could leave what you want out of my rule bills and that's right now, it's parked outside.
Let's go to the
A
car
mile
wash.
long sample.
Hey, I have 2 vehicles packed full of stuff, but guess what? It isn't all from there.
I think mine is.
Over
Okay, I
half
think
the
we-
roads. are-
That's not an approved sampling method.
Maybe if we get more rain and the water gets deeper, it'll wash off by itself.
It has off the
I
top.
think we've solved this, or got
Okay,
it.
good. Thank you, Gene.
You're leaving, Scott?
Yeah, I gotta run and get something.
Okay,
Sure, an excuse.
Yeah, I know, well, bye.
bye, Scott.
See you guys.
Okay, Wayne and Tom are gonna figure this out,
Work toward a solution.
find some material that fixes it. Okay,
And we're gonna use outside people that supposedly are really smart to figure it out.
that's fine.
No, we are.
I think you guys could figure it out too.
Well,
Like, that's all right.
but the trouble is, we're following what
Right.
the specs are.
I agree with you on that class 13 spec. It'd be nice to have more of the bigger stuff in there.
Well,
Yeah.
And I think we can do that, can't we?
Well, yeah, I mean, the class
The
13 spec is really wide. I mean,
Yeah.
you can
It's
get
huge.
good gravel and you can get some really poor gravel and still meet spec.
Mm,
You know,
Yeah.
they sold material that
Oh, wow.
probably met spec. It just wasn't great material on the road.
Yeah.
by mistake.
But I think he's made enough gravel over the years that he could probably knows what to add to it to fix it.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
He's made it a
Okay.
nightmare.
I don't think I would be able to add anything to that. that would make it-
Conversation.
Okay, that's
Would
fine.
make it
Okay.
helpful.
I want my old road.
Okay,
Well, you'll have
Took
it back.
15 years.
I mean, more rock is generally better, I guess is what.
Huh?
More rock is generally better, I guess.
that's what I kind of think, but I don't
Well, I
know.
know. We'll do everything we can. Well, I'm gonna try to give all.
And that's the difference with that Barnes County gravel, there's a lot of rock in it.
Right.
Cause I had them haul some on my driveway and it's way, way more, there's a lot of stones in it.
Right,
So
and
it's
you
better
can
to
get
have
to
some
the point
good
where
rock.
there's,
Huh?
It's always better to have some good rock, size rock in it.
right, and you can get, and you can get too much where there's a lot of float, and that's a problem too, but,
I got marbles.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah, you don't want it rolling in the ditch, but.
right.
Boy, you would know if the county has any gravel left at Eberhardt's?
I do not know that.
Wonder what you got left there.
You have to ask. I think we do have some.
Cause I think Marcy has already been working on this,
Okay,
and Ken, and I do not know if it is gonna be as tough a fix
Eberhardt's is a long tug, but
I don't know if it would, and this is gonna be figured first, but my guess is that there's gonna be a combination there that might make it simpler, and it's gonna make the people that live down there happier. If it's possible.
sure.
They're never happy, they're just happier.
Oh, okay.
Is that what you said?
I like what Nancy said, I want my road back.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we'll do it.
Do the best we can.
Good
Okay.
luck to you guys, I gotta run.
hey, I
Okay,
appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you too.
Good
luck.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to all you with the solution here.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Let us know if we fail.
Sign
We
in.
will.
Let us know if we succeed.
Thank you
Car
for
washes.
coming. Appreciate
You
it.
on speed dial.
You'll know those, you won't hear it.
Yeah,
You
I'll
won't
throw
hear
them
anything,
out on
probably.
yeah, don't be shy.
Whatever it is, redo it. We will. You're welcome.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
Well, you better not lose that cow.
Bye, Nancy.
See you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Let's not screw up, no. Don't have to go through that again.
Are we done?
We're done.
Yep. With us?
For today, we still have that road fixed though.
You're off the hot seat.
I never was actually on one today. I expected I would be.
Well, you weren't paying attention then.
All take? Time to go. So are you gonna do gravel testing then? I can't have KLJ do it, it'll be a conflict, so,
Here comes some big good stuff.
you know. Jeff Matheson is a really good guy. He is. They do a good job.
Uh-oh. End to me.
Well, gentlemen, ladies,
Thanks,
Lady.
Ken.
Thanks, Ken.
Thanks, Tom.
hope
Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Tom.
we
Ken,
help.
don't forget your dad.
Driving.
We'll see if you help.
He's got the cooler.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.
See you.
You must have one stop. I thought they had one this way. I don't have anything else laying here. Well, thank you, and appreciate your help this morning.
Make a motion, we take a 5-minute break.
Been moved by John, then we take a 5-minute recess. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. These gentlemen from Alteg made a presentation to the Nelson County Commission, so they expressed some interest in visiting with you guys, so I invited them down today.
Okay.
Jamie did.
Jamie, before they started, I got a couple questions.
Okay.
So, what are the obligations of the county to our engineering firm, and can we have an engineering pool to choose from? And if not, or if, what are the time durations for our commitments?
I believe our commitment with KLJ is currently for our construction season or for our contracts with our request for proposal right now. Paul probably can correct me if I'm wrong. I think we have an engineering agreement with you guys for a year, I believe.
Just for, well, actually, I don't think we have an MSA at all.
Okay, we don't. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's just been project by project.
Okay. Well, then what the county can advertise for proposals for contracting or for engineering proposals. From my understanding of the law, that first we must look at the qualifications of the engineering firms that are giving proposals to the county. From there, we can go further and look at pricing, but they all are going to be kind of on the same playing field, or level playing field, I should say, that the engineers have to be all qualified. And then from there, if the county wants to, I believe that the western counties are doing engineering pools now instead of just picking specific engineers, that they have a pool of engineers that they can pick projects from and make it a competitive bidding process instead of having one engineering firm do all projects.
So is the competitive bidding process based on the same criteria as when we hire a single engineer, where it's just a percentage of the total project? So they would lower the percentage of the, is that how it would work?
They are based on percentage of the project. We use that as a tool, but it isn't, it's just a ballpark figure. We actually calculate how many hours it's gonna take us to do the work.
And by coincidence, it falls between 15 and 18%. I know the game, I mean, all the works.
What it's gonna do is make everybody sharpen their pencils.
Right, that's the point.
I mean, that's just as the competitive process, like was earlier today. I mean, it's gonna make sure everybody sharpens their pencils a little bit.
Yeah, and yeah, it's not finding fault with anybody, it's just giving the citizens of Griggs County the opportunity to maybe have a savings here and there.
I mean, I think it's something that everybody should be doing because, like you said, it gives the citizens of the county a competitive option here where no one has been in the past. I shouldn't say no one, but in the past, not as many people have, or subdivisions have done that to where there's the competitive portion of that. The qualifications and having look past that, where at minimum the county has to have the request for proposals portion of it, but the county can add more criteria to that, such as cost.
So, so tell me if I'm correct in how this works in North Dakota contract. I bid a lot of federal contracts on the firefighting, aerial firefighting, and what the federal system does is they pre-qualify by means of a bid process a group of contractors. And then as projects come up, then they bid those out amongst that group because they're already pre-qualified, they've met all the prerequisites of the equipment, the training and everything else. And then they bid those out on individual task orders on a cost, plus they can put in other criteria, but most of it's based on cost because supposedly everybody then, by being pre-qualified, is of the same quality.
Right, and I believe that's
is that how this works?
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Then I'm
the different
familiar with
engineering
that.
firms are pre-qualified, and then from that pool, whatever engineering firm wants to bid can bid.
Yeah, I hate the system. As a contractor.
Yeah, if you're a contractor, it's not always the best. Yeah.
No.
I guess it just makes everybody sharpen their pencil, I think, a little
Yeah.
bit more, and that's what we're looking for. That's you guys have the fiscal responsibility to the citizens, and I think that's a big thing.
It keeps everyone honest. It's interesting how the county engineers are looking at it out in western North Dakota to keep people honest on their pricing and that they're also providing good service to the engineering.
Well, I wouldn't use honest as a word. I would say competitive.
Yeah, there you go.
Because honest, the use of honest implies that to make a profit is dishonest, and I don't think that's the case. Okay, I got a 10. That's okay. Then,
but we can do a pre-approved pool, is what you're saying.
The way I understand
that's
it.
City of Fargo does it too.
Pre-qualify the engineering firms, and that's who gets the projects based on their qualifications.
Yep.
I approached the association probably 4 years ago about this, and at that time I don't think anybody was doing it, or at least Aaron Burst told me no one was doing it, and he wasn't aware of any counties doing it. And I just think it's kind of foolish for any subdivision not to do it because you have a fiscal responsibility to the constituents, and I think that added portion of it gives you that.
So
who does the interviewing?
I have one more question. The way under the system we have right now, there's a lot of work done by KLJ without ever a financial consideration, researching what monies are out there, bringing projects to Griggs County. the state, or the Senate and House bill money, I mean, you do a lot of work where we haven't even decided where to spend the money, and you're still putting time and effort into what we could do. How would that work with a pool of contractors? Would they be then competing against each other?
Well, that's kind of the
the same
application.
way?
I think that's kind of the application process.
Okay.
Personally, I don't know. I guess none of the engineering firms spend their time in Griggs County. We have a road engineer that, in my opinion, in either county, that I think that's their responsibility to. They spend the time with the citizens and they spend the time with the people that are employed by the county. That should be looking at the problem areas and bringing that to the engineers. And if it's my understanding that portion of it's kind of a job application.
But I mean, because the engineers
part of the
lend quite a bit of expertise pre-project, that yes, they get paid for if the project goes to fruition, but there is a certain amount of that.
Well, Wayne talks about projects with me ahead of time.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's how the projects get developed, and then you guys have the say in which projects get built.
Yep.
And that's part of what goes into our overhead, I guess. That, I mean, we don't charge for that typically. I mean, unless we're asked to research or do a plan for we've got a comprehensive plan for your roads.
Right, but under this scenario, there wouldn't be any way to charge for it because you wouldn't be, or one of you would not be the selected engineer. So you might put time and effort into it and then not be selected.
Well, that's the same thing you do when you guys send out an RFP now. All the costs are borne by the proposal.
Okay,
So
that's
the
I
same.
just wanted to clarify that.
Wouldn't change.
at risk.
Yeah,
Yeah, that wouldn't change.
Yep.
Well, it's
Okay.
same as building, and it's same as bidding on a project, or bidding a building for any individual. I mean, that's the risk of it. It sucks that you don't get the project. It is what it is.
Yep.
And you guys, like, you're usually federal aid for the box culvert and for the chip seal. I mean, you guys did put an RFP, we responded to that, and nobody else did. You know,
Right.
They have the opportunity to do that, and this would be the same. Sure.
Okay.
And I guess the mechanism to use for having a pool of engineers would be to put out a general engineering services request for proposals and then select more than one to be able to pick from.
Mhm. I was just under assumption there was some cooperative agreement amongst the engineers that they wouldn't step on each other's toes.
No.
Oh.
No.
We just go longer. We were just visiting.
But I also knew that would iron itself out when all the work went away in the state. It'd get competitive here pretty soon.
Who does the interviewing? The two
That's the request
commissioners?
for proposals that you guys, they bring the commission meeting.
Yeah, same as
The entire commission?
or usually it's a committee, like 2 or 3,
The two that are on,
or 2 that are on the
on the road?
Yeah. I don't really like the responsibility of that. I'd rather have it in front of the whole commission.
The whole commission when you wanna do that?
Myself, I would. Can that be done, Jimmy?
Yeah, I don't see.
Well, I don't think this is something we need to wait on. At what point do we wanna start opening this up and having?
Well, I think the next
doing that?
project that you do, or
Cause I think you want them pre-approved before we start a project.
Yeah, I would say you probably wanna just do
Yeah.
it.
yeah, I mean, if you guys want to
Yeah, so
advertise
that-
for proposals from
So then everybody's in that pool.
Well, let's let these guys make a pitch first. Maybe they showed up out of college and then had no
Well,
experience.
I'm thinking, but maybe we're gonna have 3, 4. Maybe we're gonna have
Well, I know
3, 4
that. I
engineers.
know
and,
that.
and that's fine, and that's
Yeah.
what keeps I mean,
Sure.
that's what'll make them sharpen their pencil. The more competition there is, the better. The hungrier people are, the better it is for the county. Just like last year when there was no work out west, our projects were half price.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's hope there's 10 people that want to come over.
At a point, at a certain financial point, you can push it to where the service provided are slipshod because there's not enough money and there's not enough money
Right.
left in the project in order to meet expenses
Right.
and operate a quality operation. So you gotta be careful in that, because you can push people where there's no way out either way, and they'll just try to maintain expenses and cut services.
Okay, let's
go.
these guys out.
As part of that, for doing those quotes, request for quotes for specific project work, the thing you're gonna wanna do is spell out what services you are expecting to be provided.
Right.
So you're comparing apples to apples. I mean, both, I mean, Altair's a qualified engineering firm. They, you know, do good work. It'd just be comparing, making sure that you're getting the same thing.
You'd have to scope it, but we get
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and you can have that as part of the scope and fee that's provided as, you know, here's the project we want to do, you provide us the scope and fee to do it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, so.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just want to say thanks for letting us come. Sorry we're a little bit late. We had some vehicle issues along the way, but thanks for letting us come and talk to you guys. Now I'm from the area. I grew up in Annetta and Lakota, so good to be kind of back in home country. But my name's Chris Smollett, and I'm technical manager at Altair. Been there about 9 years now. Work in the civil department, and I brought Tom Reisdorf with me, so I'll let Tom introduce himself, and then I'll kind of jump into a little bit about Altair. Just kind of give you a background, just so you know a little bit more about us. So,
Steve's your uncle?
Mr. Steve is my uncle.
Oh, I thought.
Clay is my dad.
Yep.
Yep.
Good afternoon, Tom Reisdorf. So thanks again for letting us come and talk to you today. I'm a licensed engineer out of the Fargo office. Do primarily municipal work in the Fargo area, site design. Also do a fair amount of road work in the western counties in the city of Williston. So looking to expand our services in the area. Like was already mentioned, we met with Nelson County, so we wanted to get up here and meet with you guys.
Yeah. So Tom joins us. He's got a number of years of experience working with other consultants and City of Fargo, working on was it landfill type work and development style work. He's been working in our municipal team, you know, on county level work or municipal work out west. And so as we're continuing to grow our offering here, just wanted to get out and see you guys. So Altair, we're about 450 people right now, about 500 with some of our part-time and interns throughout the summer. We serve the upper Midwest primarily. Our main offices are in Fargo, St. Paul, and Denver, and then we also have other offices, smaller offices scattered kind of throughout the upper Midwest, Bismarck, Williston, and then got offices in Cedar Rapids and Minot, and just kind of a number. I think I can't remember if it's on the information we provided you or not, but and then they're remote across the country. We serve everything from the power market all the way through civil and municipal utilities. So, so that's kind of just a brief snippet about us. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to see some of the material we had dropped off prior to. Did you have any questions based on that? I can dive into a lot more detail, but just want to introduce ourselves and stuff first. So.
Sure. Do you guys have any more questions? I don't have anything at this time. I guess we need to make a decision what we're gonna do going forward as far as if, like John said, if we wanna form a pool or whatever. I guess the last time that we sent out requests for proposal, we only got one.
Mm-hmm. That's 2 times.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, you know, we're bringing people back, you know, to this area. You know, obviously things are slowing down a little bit in western North Dakota. We work a lot on the Minnesota side. We just haven't. We've talked to a lot of counties. KLJ's just done a really good job, I think, you know, throughout the eastern side of the state. And so I think we've gone out to some of the counties before just to kind of test the waters and see how things are going.
Okay.
And if things are going well, we don't want to push it. Like I said, it's kind of a professional market, but we also want to make sure that our clients are being taken care of, counties are taken care of. So that's a big thing for us at Altair is responsiveness to our clients, making sure that they're being well taken care of. They're happy with the final product quality, as we expect every engineering firm should, but when we get out there, that's not always something you see. So we just wanted to come out. Obviously, if that's something you guys are looking to do, we're going to continue to look at RFPs that come out.
Okay.
If there's another RFP comes out, we're definitely going to bid on it. We want to get out here and serve you guys. If you give us the opportunity to do that. So,
okay.
You guys got a lot of things going on in the county. We'd love to help. So,
sounds good.
So, yeah. If there are any questions as you go through any materials, feel free to reach out to myself or Tom, or I think Mike Campion is also in there. Mike's got about 9-10 years of experience as well. So, all good resources. Feel free to reach out anytime about anything.
Okay.
Even if we're not the engineer.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you guys.
So Jamie, what would be the process then if we don't want to start that now?
I think I can sit down with Wayne and the engineers, and if you guys want to make a motion to start working on that, I think we can do that.
What do you think?
I'll make a motion that we,
Is that on the, that's probably not on the agenda.
Yeah, it is. Multi-engineering. I don't know.
Setting up
a pool?
That's no.
isn't an agenda item.
Yeah, I suppose you guys probably should have it.
I think we should put it on the next agenda. Sam, I don't know if we want to do that here.
Can we have a motion to explore?
Motion for put it on future.
We don't need a motion to explore it.
Well, then we would, then next meeting, we'd have it together, what we have to do to obtain that goal and go forward.
Just tell me to do it and I'll do it. That's fine. I'll look into it and see what has to happen.
That's what we want.
I do have something under road and bridge business for you guys. Last meeting we talked about those abstracts for those 2 lots. I went ahead and ordered those 2 abstracts. I don't know if you guys wanted to make a motion on it or not, but I guess I already did it because they're $750, so you can go forward with that lot, or those lots in that building.
Well, I think we authorized
You told us that last time.
Yeah, we authorized that the last
We
time.
did authorize me to do
Didn't we?
it, yeah.
I don't think you authorized it because it wasn't on the agenda. You guys
agenda,
actually
yeah.
wanted Wayne to be here or whatever, and that's why I put it under Wayne's stuff, or I just had
Yeah, it
Wayne's
was
stuff.
never
kind of with it.
authorized, but I went ahead and
Yeah.
did it knowing it was going to be authorized.
Yep.
Okay.
And so then Wayne was supposed to be here to talk about, you guys wanted to talk about the whole Binford shop, but then he had that wedding, so.
So it is on, it's part of this one. Okay.
Right, yep, it's part of that Wayne stuff. I just kind of keep his stuff open so that you guys can talk about.
So it doesn't come to a surprise when it comes to the billings. They were ordered last week.
I guess I thought you guys had already decided to do that.
I thought so too, but.
Specific motion,
But anyway, they're ordered, so
Okay.
that's just not the, I guess.
So, the Association of Counties is having a meeting out in the Capitol building on this social service redesign thing. And they would like some people to come out there when they're explaining how this thing is gonna go. Mary's gonna go out there. I thought maybe I'd go too. I don't really like going to those meetings very much, but there might be, it probably is a good idea for me to understand what the plan is, because I don't know what this, I have never talked to the state or the Association of Counties what the long game is here. You know, to me, I hope that it never comes back to the county level to fund it. But
So, I have some information, and I apologize for that. I have some information after speaking with Mary. There's one bad portion that's written in the bill, I think, from my understanding from talking with Mary, and there's a portion where we could have to, it could be up to the county to levy some taxes to pay for any shortfalls. The way that sounds is that's coming out after the next session, or at the next session, that portion of the bill is going to be changed again, or the law is going to be changed. It kind of sounds like, speaking with Mary, that there is a big zone with like 8 counties and another one with 5 counties, so she's thinking that we're probably going to be alright as a Nelson and Griggs zone. I don't know if she was able to share that with you guys at the last social service meeting, but Doesn't sound like we're gonna be swallowed up by anybody else.
Well, I don't know if that's good or not.
I'm not sure.
Do you want me to set up anything for you to go to this meeting? Do you need a hotel at all from the county level?
Minibar,
Driver?
maxi bar, Uber driver, Uber.
Yeah. When is that meeting?
June 11th.
June 11th from 9:30 to 4.
Salzburg is the county Uber.
Oh, I gotta try it. I'm pretty sure I can get up and make it to Bismarck by 9:30.
Okay.
To the Burn Hill Hogwood Room. Do I need to be authorized? Not really.
No.
You're not gonna pay me anything.
Well, if you request reimbursement mileage or anything like that, just gotta let me know.